Now I'm going to take you through something called Audience Insights. Audience Insights is an incredibly powerful tool to build audiences when you haven't got a mailing list, you haven't got website traffic, you don't want to look at lookalike audiences, you've never ever tried to look for an audience before. This is a really effective way, and I'm going to show you why right now. So if we go to audiences at the top, assuming we're still in the audience page, but you can just go to whatever tab is at the top left. And then if we go to plan, which is the first tab along, and go down to Audience Insights. So when we click on that, what this is it's simply a tool that Facebook lets you use and gives you access to all of their information about everybody on Facebook. And what we can do is we can input specific pieces of information, and Facebook will build an audience for us and tell us how well the audience will perform based on the information that you select. Okay, so this is what the screen looks like when you select Audience Insights. So you can start with everybody on Facebook, people connected to your page, or a custom audience. What I recommend you do is just close this, go to the X, and we're going to build an audience from scratch. Okay, so the same drill, but with much more information than I've showed you already. So this is very similar to starting an audience from scratch like we did in the first place. What happens is you start from a position where they give you a country and they give you how many people are active within that country, what your potential reach is. So right now, it's just giving me people in the United States and what they look like. So let's take my Facebook ads course. Let's try and find an audience of people who might be likely to buy this course. Okay, so those people probably speak English, so I'm going to include English speaking countries. So I'm going to select the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and Ireland. There's probably a lot more that I could target, but I'm just going to leave it as this for now. So now it says that we've got 250 million to 300 million monthly active people. Now, if you wanted to actually select a more local audience, let's say you were doing local business marketing, then you would select actual towns or cities. So instead of putting in the United States or United Kingdom, you would put in, let's say, Los Angeles or San Francisco. So I have found that the people who interact with my courses the best are people that are 20 to 50 years old. So I'm going to put 20 to 50 here. And that whittles us down to 150 to 200 million. Now, if I'm going to be really picky, I'm going to say that my courses perform better with men than with women, especially because men seem to interact more with my videos than women do. So I'm going to select men, and this moves it down to 90 million to 100 million now. So now Facebook are now giving me information on these men. Now, if we look here, if we actually selected women, women are a larger population in these countries. So 53% of the Facebook population that we had before we chose men were women. So of the men that are on Facebook, they give me a load of information, common information about them. We can see what kind of lifestyle they lead and what the highest percentage is. We can see their relationship status. So we can see here that 37% of the selected audience are single, 20% are in a relationship, 5% are engaged, and 37% are married. So similar numbers there. We can look at the education level. So a third finished high school. 64%, a large number, went to university, and 7% were postgraduate. That's just amazing information that Facebook give you. And Facebook will also tell you what kind of pages these people like to follow. So if we go into here, we can see the most popular page likes for this population. So we can see here, gaming is massive. Call of Duty, Xbox, PlayStation, Rockstar Games, who are the guys who made Grand Theft Auto 5. We can look at the locations where most of the people are based. So we've got 10% of people in London, 8% of people in New York. It will show you what activities that they frequently do. It will show you how interactive they are on Facebook. It will show you what their household income is. It will show you their household size, market value. This stuff is incredible. And we can also see their online purchasing behavior right here. This allows you to see, right, are you targeting the right kind of people? 75% of this audience purchase things online. So you can see there's a high percentage of online purchasing. And you can also see that a lot of people are spending in retail, and you can see what they're spending their money on. The alarming thing is that business purchases is quite small on the grid compared with food and drink, subscription services, household services, health and beauty. Marvellous information that they give you. But the most important part of this page for you is this one, the demographics. This is where we can target people in a very detailed way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the interests bit. So the ideal for me is to put my ad in front of people who already like similar entrepreneurs, similar Facebook ads entrepreneurs to me. So my real objective, and this is something that is super brilliant about this process, is that I want to be able to find people who have liked similar entrepreneurs to me. People who have engaged with similar products to the one that I'm offering. And this is the magic of this area, because this is what I'm able to do. So we want to look at the kind of pages that these guys are following. So I want to see how many of these people are interacting, let's say, with Gary Vaynerchuk. So there he is. He's there as an actual interest. Let's look at some more. Let's look at Jerry Banfield. Let's also look at Kim Gast, because she also does Facebook ads. Let's look at Social Media Examiner, which is quite a popular blog for people in the whole social media game. And now we've whittled it down to 1.5 to 2 million. So these are people who are more likely to engage with me because they have similar teaching styles and sell similar products to me. So my ad is more likely to work on these people because what they do compared to me is very similar. Other things that we could do is things like Facebook advertising. We could do Facebook for business. So now we're going to go over to page likes and watch what happens now. So now Facebook are saying to me, right, we kind of get the gist of what you're trying to do. You're trying to build an audience of people who identify with teacher, entrepreneur, education, public figure, vitamins and supplements, health and beauty. That's right, I'm trying to amongst these kind of three here. And maybe public figures as well. So what we can see here, and this is the absolute magic. This is saying to me, right, you've got these two people. Now, people who interact with Jerry Banfield have an affinity score of 30.8 times. That means that when I target the people that follow Jerry, they're 30.8 times more likely to interact with me than the average person. If I look at Gary Vaynerchuk, if I target his followers or the people that like his page, which Facebook have the information on, they're 18 times more likely to like my page over the average person. But the good thing is that this actually encourages me to choose other people. So let's say Grant Cardone. So his audience are 11 times more likely to follow me than the average person. So what I can do then is I can add Grant Cardone. And now he jumps up to 30.8 times because it's changed the way that Facebook is viewing the information. Because Facebook can now see I'm targeting Grant's kind of area of business than Jerry. So it's changed the landscape now. So they think that I'm looking for an audience more like Grant Cardone. So this is really good because this now gives me even more options. Now if I take out, let's say Facebook for business and Facebook advertising. this now increases my affinity score. If I take out Social Media Examiner, then the affinity score is increased even more. So Facebook are giving me really good information on who are the people that are most like me that I should target in order to get 36 to 33 times more likes than the average person. So instead of doing the original ad that I had, which is targeting people in the US, targeting people in the UK, looking for people who like Udemy, that is being very generic. This, however, is being very specific. They are showing me how much more likely the people who like these pages are to follow me if I market to them. So, now that I've got this information, which is brilliant, I've got the age, I've got the gender, I've got the interests. What I can also do is I can go to the advanced option here, and I can look for people who spend a certain amount of money. And I can target people who have a certain income. So if I go for people about 75 to 100,000, 50 to 75,000, we can see the Grant Cardone is definitely the person I should be targeting. So we can take off Jerry Banfield, we can take off Kim Gast, and that increases the score. So now I'm looking at people who have the spend and are more likely to like my page. So now that I've got that information, what I can do, and this is the awesome part, is I can go to Create Advert using the Advert Creative tool. I need to select my campaign, so promote my page, page likes, and it has automatically pre-populated that data I've just selected onto this list. Perfect. And I've got 2 million people, quite a small size. So now what I'll do is I will promote my page to these guys. Got it here, and what I'll put is this will be the Grant and Gary fans. And then continue. And there we are. Then I can promote my page to an audience that are 50 times more likely to interact with me than the average person. This is how Facebook Audience Insights can be magic to you. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next lecture.